What's up, guys? My name's Alex. I graduated from Stanford in math, computer science, and NFL lines. It's NFL week 1. It's Thursday night. You can see the Bucks Cowboys lines are on the move. Pinnacle is moving towards the under. So we see that DraftKings is a bit stale on this under 25.5, and it is an arb to Pinnacle, right? There's an arbitrage opportunity. If you had both sportsbooks, you could pull up the arbitrage calculator. Depending on your bankroll, you could make a risk-free profit, right? So arbitrage is a flaw in financial markets. It is an indication that there is a good bet. There cannot be an arbitrage opportunity where there is not a profitable bet. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but before anything, let's get our bet down. So we see I have $8.15 left in my account. I already bet a little on this before the video started. We can see that I bet on this previously. I bet $1,250, but let's place another $800 for the video. And it's under trader review. We've explained this in previous videos. When you are limited on sportsbooks, they will often take your bet under review, which really isn't fair to bettors, but essentially the sportsbook just wants the chance to review it. It's nice because DraftKings actually oftentimes will let me get down a fair amount of money, whereas many of these sportsbooks only let you bet like $20, $25 once you're limited. So we see I have these two bets down on the under. So let's just talk a bit more about why these specific bets are good. Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, right? There are tons of articles online about Pinnacle and why Pinnacle is so sharp, why it's such an efficient sports betting market, right? Pinnacle even refers to itself as being arbitrage friendly. This is on the Pinnacle site. They're calling themselves arbitrage friendly. They allow very high betting limits. They take action from around the world. And for that reason, it's a very efficient betting market. So the game's moving under, maybe sharp bettors are coming in and betting the under, maybe the weather's changing. Whatever it is, this game has been drifting towards the under slowly but surely. In DraftKings, this plus 110 is stale, right? This plus 110 is just a mathematically profitable bet. The odds should be much lower. So we've explained this in previous videos, but essentially, when arbitrage exists, like a key of financial markets, right? If I learned anything as a quantitative trader, is arbitrage is not supposed to exist. Free money doesn't exist. Here, if you had both sportsbook accounts, you could make risk-free money. So one of these sportsbooks, one of these bets, either the Pinnacle over 25.5 minus 106 or the DraftKings under 25.5 plus 110 has to be a mathematically profitable bet. So what we are doing is we are placing the bet on DraftKings because, again, Pinnacle's the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Its odds are the most fair, or the most true, the most indicative of win probability. So this plus 110 is a good bet. So you can add it to your bet tracker. So I bet $12.50 on it before, and I just bet another $800. So I'll put in $800 under 25.5 on DraftKings, and I'll save that bet. And then it'll be added to my bet tracker. So I can go to my bet tracker. This is 100% free. Anybody can use the OddsJam bet tracker. You don't even have to have a paying subscription. And what's really cool about it is we track your profit and loss for you, as well as your Pinnacle CLV, right? The Pinnacle no-vig line we track for you. So you can see, I bet Antonio Gibson over 2.5 player receptions at plus 110 odds. The current Pinnacle line, the no-vig line from Pinnacle, is minus 137. So clearly that was a pretty incredible bet, and it allows you to kind of monitor your CLV. It allows you to monitor that the odds you got are better than the current no-vig line at Pinnacle. So what we can do is go back to the arbitrage page, and we can try to see if there are any other good betting opportunities. So this line will eventually move, right? DraftKings is incorrect, but if we want to just go through the math, we placed $800 on this bet, and our payout would be 800 times 1.1. So our payout would be $880 if this bet won, the under 25.5 points. And we're getting great value on DraftKings at plus 110. We can actually click on this game, look at some of the markets as it loads up. So we can see under 25.5 plus 110 on DraftKings, arb to Pinnacle. It looks like DraftKings offers much better odds. Like here we see on 888 Sport Canada, they have the under 26 favored. On, BetMGM, it's minus 110, minus 110. No vig odds, plus 100. DraftKings is the outlier, right? They're giving you way better odds on the unders than every other book. And there's clearly value in this, plus 105 as well if you were to bet the under 26. It's an arb to Pinnacle. So let's go back to the arbitrage page. And again, the market of Pinnacle is currently minus 107, minus 105. So minus 107 over 25.5 points and minus 105 under 25.5 points. So if we go to the no vig calculator, the fair odds calculator, that means if Pinnacle wasn't charging vig, if Pinnacle charged no vig, no juice, no house edge, they would give you minus 101 or minus 100.92 on the over and plus 100.92 on the under, right? So it's basically 50-50, but the over is maybe a bit more favored, and that's the no vig odds. So sports is random. There's a ton of variance. You never know what's going to happen, but Pinnacle is saying the over is roughly 50.23% to occur, and the under is 49.77% to occur. So we bet on something that, according to Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, arbitrage friendly, has very high betting limits, is 49.77% to occur, which means we'll win our wager, according to Pinnacle, 49.77% of the time, right? So this would be our win probability. According to Pinnacle, if there was no vig, our win probability is 49.77%, and that means we'd lose our wager 50.23% of the time. So we can go back here, and we can see our win probability is 0.4977. So 49.77% of the time, according to Pinnacle, we're going to be winning $880, right? That's our $800 stake multiplied by 1.1. We're winning $880 when our bet wins. We're placing $800 on the under on DraftKings at plus 110 odds, which means that this is our expected value for the bet. 1 second, and then we can kind of go through the math. $36. So this bet is mathematically profitable by $36. What does that mean? 49.7% of the time, we are winning $880 according to the no vig odds at Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. And the other, 50.23% of the time, we're losing our stake, $800. So the expected profit of this bet is positive $36. This is a positive EV bet, which is the common terminology. This bet has edge. We can actually go to the plus EV page and talk a little bit about that. You can see that's what the plus EV page does. Wow. You can see we're ripping actually more towards the under now, right? We are ripping towards the under now. This is a fantastic bet. It has 6.92% expected value. So this formula we just did, calculating your expected value, your edge, is right here. So we can see Pinnacle is drifting towards the under. We just put into the no vig odds calculator minus 107, minus 105, I believe. Now the under is favored on Pinnacle. So they're taking a ton of action on the under, and Pinnacle keeps moving its market more in favor of the under. So if we go back to calculators, you can see now the under, now our win probability is actually 50.92%. So our expected value will change, 0.0592. So 50.92. Now the EV of this bet is actually $55. So I feel pretty good about this bet. I just placed an $800 bet. I made $55 in mathematical profit margin. Of course, this specific bet may not win, but that's not the point, right? The point of positive expected value betting is if you're placing 10 bets a day, 5 bets a day, as you place more and more bets, if you have the mathematical edge over the sportsbook, you are going to win in the long run, right? That is the whole point of OddsJam. That's why so many people use OddsJam, is we teach you how to win in the long run. And what I also love about the product is, right, we're not a tout service. We're not selling some BS model, some BS picks. There are no professional sports bettors who make money. That's not a legitimate profession. I've talked about in other videos how sportsbooks will limit you as you go up a lot of money. You just saw DraftKings required approval for my bet, and we can pull up another example on TwinSpires. I'll show you what it looks like to be limited. This isn't a viable career path. So anybody who isn't limited or anybody who claims to be a professional sports bettor, they're all just trying to sell you something. They're all trying to sell you some picks, some BS model. That is not what OddsJam is. OddsJam is a data provider. And we just have real-time odds from sportsbooks from around the world. And if you're able to have some understanding of the market and you understand which sportsbooks are the sharpest, you can find profitable betting opportunities. But there is no model, right? We are just based in data, and that's what makes OddsJam so powerful and why it's been so successful. I'm not a professional sports bettor. I would never do that. I don't even think it's a legitimate profession, right? So I'm a software guy, and what we focus on at OddsJam is just having the fastest odds to show you the best opportunities so you can get in on bets like this, which is just an incredible betting opportunity, and you should be on it. So again, like an ARB exists, if you had both sportsbooks, you could just place the bet and make a risk-free profit, but you don't. Most likely, if you're in the US, you don't have a Pinnacle account. So this OddsJam column is a weighted average of Pinnacle and BookMaker. Pinnacle and BookMaker are the two sharpest sports betting markets in the world. If you don't believe me, look on any site online, ask any person who you think is really smart and bets on sports. Pinnacle and BookMaker are kind of the gold standard for sports betting markets in terms of market efficiency and sharpness. Here's another great bet, right? We see Oklahoma State versus Tulsa. This is an ARB to BookMaker, and it's also, the no vig odds from Pinnacle would be, we can see the market right here is minus 104, minus 112. So minus 104, minus 112. The no vig odds from Pinnacle are plus 103.63, and you can get plus 105 on DraftKings, which is obviously better. So this would be a mathematically profitable bet as well. So that's kind of positive expected value betting. You're looking for line discrepancies and you are profiting. Here's another one I like, right? Rams Bears, first half total points on TwinSpires. Now I'll show you what it looks like to get limited. Rams Bears are between TwinSpires and Pinnacle. One of these sportsbooks has to be wrong. You can actually go to the plus EV page just so we can, we did out the math here to find our expected value, but it's nice because the OddsJam plus EV page, all it does is show you big line discrepancies to Pinnacle and BookMaker, the two sharpest sportsbooks in the world, so you can kind of scan through and find good betting opportunities. So we were looking at the Rams game. So if I search Rams, we'll see that this bet, this under 23.5 to Pinnacle zero vig line. Again, if you remove the vig, the win probability with the odds you're getting, this bet is 4.28% expected value. And it's clear, right? Like the sharpest sportsbook in the world has this minus 127 odds. We can get it minus 107 odds. That's pretty great. So if I go to the Rams-Bears game, again, you have to move quickly. OddsJam has the fastest data in the world, but you still have to move quickly to get in on bets before the odds move because the best betting opportunities are not going to last forever. Some may last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But some of them may be gone in a couple minutes. So knowing how to navigate the sites, going quickly is really important. This is kind of like your day trading sports. You're watching the information happening in different sports markets, specifically the sharp sports books, Pinnacle and BookMaker, and then you're moving quickly to capitalize. So we want to go to the Rams game. So let's find that. Rams, Bears, that's the game I want. And I want to bet the under first half total points minus 107 odds, before the odds moves, of course. So we can see I have a ton of bets on the over already. So I guess I'm kind of hedging. I have, looks like $4,000 or so bet on the over. And look at those cash outs, right? I bet $172 on the over 46, and they're letting me cash out $188.97. So I can make just $16 from placing this bet. I think I got in on a great line when I placed this bet. The overs were way off. The Pinnacle and BookMaker were steaming towards the over, so I kind of ripped them. But anyways, I have a ton of sweat on the over. So now we want to go to first half, and I want under 23.5 minus 107. So let's go back. Under 23.5 minus 107. That's what I want. And now you'll see what getting limited looks like. So I can try to put $600 on it. and we'll see what they give me. They give me 141.67. Place a pre-approved wager of 141.67. Thanks. So I'll place a pre-approved wager of 141.67 and I'll send the rest for approval, but it'll probably get rejected. So it says your wager is being referred, and then they'll probably reject it because I've made too much money off them. But that is kind of what plus EV betting is. And you can kind of scroll through. New opportunities are always popping up, going away. OddsJam has the fastest data, which is really powerful because it allows you to get in on the best betting opportunities first. But I think that's it for this video. I really do hope you found this helpful. Like, here's another one. Colorado State, Vanderbilt, right? 5% EV to bookmakers market. Bookmaker, Pinnacle, 2 sharpest sportsbooks in the world. You always have to be getting better odds as a sports bettor. Better odds than Pinnacle and Bookmaker. That's the only way you are going to make money. You have to be looking for line discrepancies to Pinnacle and Bookmaker. These are the most efficient sports betting markets in the world. So again, it's fun because there's always new games, right? There's college football now. NFL betting has started. And there will always be new opportunities popping up, going away. So if you're quick, if you're able to capitalize on these opportunities, you can make a ton of money sports betting, like we just showed, here. So we can see Twin Spires, single -107 rejected. Of course, they rejected my bet. But when you're able to get in on these great betting opportunities, like I kind of showed, so let's go back to the Rams game, just because it was kind of interesting, is my cash outs, right? Like, when you're placing profitable bets, you'll notice that books oftentimes, they let you cash out for greater than it. Like, Twin Spires is just like, we don't want this guy's bets. We don't want his action. So they're allowing me to cash out this bet. I could just make $53 just because I placed it. I wouldn't even have any risk. I could cash out before. The sharp sportsbooks were steaming over. Pinnacle and Bookmaker were jumping towards the over. I placed a lot of bets on the overs, and granted, I'm limited, but it looks like I got, $2,000, $3,000, whatever, like $4,000 down on the over. So now it's kind of nice because we just placed a bet on the under. So I guess I'm hedging that a little. So anyways, check OddsJam, refresh constantly. Odds are always moving around. New opportunities are always coming up, going away. Invest in your sports betting education, learn about no-vig lines, learn about the sharpness, the market efficiency of Pinnacle and Bookmaker, and it'll benefit you a lot in terms of how much money you make. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for your time.